Question 7 here, you've got the following table, shows the age profiles of all the people in Ireland aged between 15 and 65. So you've got the table showing how many in each group, and you just have to draw a histogram. So 15 to 25, you can see goes as far as 24. So please use a ruler when you're doing this and draw the bars of the histogram. Then you can see for 25 to 35 goes to 27, which is halfway between 26 and 28. And then for 35 to 45, you can see it's 25, which is halfway between 24 and 26. And then you have 45 to 55, which is 16. And lastly, you have 55 to 65, which is 8. So as I said, please use a ruler, and you can shade them in if you want. There's no pressure to do that, but that's a histogram. Histogram has no gaps between bars. So that is 15 marks. For part 2 then, so we want, in a survey of 1,000 subscribers aged between 15 to 65, how many people would you expect to be between 25 and 55? Well, we need to add up the amounts that are between 25 and 55. So we've got 27 in the first one, then we've got 25 in the second one, and then we've got 16 in the next one. So that's a total of 68, and there was 100 in the survey, so that is 68%. So we want to figure out, if we had 1,000 subscribers, then we have to multiply that by 1,000. So that would be 680 people who would have subscribed between the age of 25 and 55. So that's 5 marks. For part 3 then, use a table or the histogram to write down the age group which contains the median age. So you have 100 people in the survey, so we want to find half of 100, which is 50. So you're looking for where the 50th person falls. So you can see that when you add up the first couple of people, you end up in the age group of 25 to 35 is where you'll find the 50th term. So you just add up 27 and then 25, and you can see that comes up to 52. So that's why it falls into that age group there of 25 to 35. For the next one then, you're looking for the mid-interval values, so between each age group. So halfway between 15 to 25 is 10, so that is 520. So you multiply 20 by the frequency, which is 24, and then you add it on each time. Then halfway between 25 and 35 is 30, multiplied by 27. Then halfway between the next one is 40, and multiply it by 25. Then you keep doing that. Halfway then is 50, you multiply by the frequency of 16, and then halfway is 60, multiply by the frequency of 8. And then you divide it by 100, because that's how many people are in the survey. So you end up with 3,570 for your numerator, divided by 100, and you get 35.7. That's correct to 1 decimal place, and that is 10 marks. For part B here, so prior to COVID-19 pandemic, Netflix had held the largest share of online streaming market with 65% of all streaming subscribers in the age of 15 to 65. So Aidan thought that this percentage might have changed during the pandemic, so survey a sample of subscribers in this age to get this data. So he carried out a hypothesis test. So he had 540 people respond to this survey. Let's calculate the margin of error. So 1 over the square root of n. You have to remember this for your leaving cert. So you put 1 over the square root of 540. And you want it as a percentage, so you multiply it by 100, and you end up with 4.3% to 1 decimal place, and that is 5 marks. Then if you're trying to get for this part here, the proportion, which we call p hat, you've got 372 of them who responded have a Netflix account out of the 540 people that they asked in the survey. And again, you multiply by 100 to get a percentage, and you get 68.9%. And then you're asked to find the confidence interval. So the confidence interval is just basically using the proportion and adding the margin of error of 4.3, and then using the proportion and taking away the 4.3, which is the margin of error, and that creates a confidence interval. So the first one gives you 73.2%, and the second one gives you 64.6%. So generally we write them in square brackets, so we say that the percentage of people is actually between 64.6 and 73.2%. So that is your answer there, and that is only 5 marks. So for part 3 then, we want to create the null hypothesis. So we basically know from our calculation a couple of things already. So our null hypothesis always comes from the statement in the question. And here is that we have that the Netflix share of the market has not changed. The Netflix share of the market and your opposite then is that the Netflix share of the market has changed. Okay, and what we found from above was our confidence interval was between 64.6% and 73.2%. So here they had stated that it was 65% from the original part of the question. If we look at the very top, so we can see that 65% does fall within the range, so we fail to reject or we accept it as a result. Okay, and that is 5 marks.